Alright, we're going to do some simple algebra review where we solve for x. First problem's pretty basic, where we have 2x minus 14 equals 26. We're going to add 14 to both sides. When we add 14 to both sides, we're left with 2x equals 40. Then we're going to isolate x by dividing both sides by 2. And we get x equal to 20. This next problem, we're going to combine all like terms. Like terms have the same variable in front of it, or they're a whole number with no variable at all. So we can combine the 4x and the 5x squared, 4x squared and 5x squared, 10x and the 3x, and the 10 and the 9. And the way we do that is we subtract the 4x squared over, subtract the 10x over, and subtract the 10 over. You're essentially subtracting them from both sides, right? And here's what that looks like. After we've subtracted all these terms over to the other side, on the right side of the equation we get 0. On the left side of the equation we get x squared. 5x squared minus 4x is x squared. We get minus 7x minus 19. And as we look at this problem, probably not worth factoring. We're probably not going to be able to factor this real easily, so we'll just jump right into the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula looks like this. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Apparently there's a song that goes along with that. If you got to sing the song to yourself, go ahead and do it. Plugging in the numbers, we've got negative 7 for our b term, so that becomes a positive 7 with the negative out in front. Plus or minus the square root of negative 7 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 19 all over 2 times 1. And as you do the math, please keep in mind when you do the negative 7 squared, you're going to get a positive 49, and when you multiply these two, the negative will go away also. So you're going to calculate this, and you will figure out that x is equal to 9.09 or negative 2.09. Moving on to the next problem, we've got 1 over x times 1 over x squared equals 30. When you're multiplying fractions, multiply the numerators. 1 times 1 is 1. Multiply the denominators. X times x squared becomes x cubed, and that is equal to 30. You can cross multiply this over. You can cross multiply, or you can just say, oh, the reciprocal of this is equal to the reciprocal of the right side. So you're left with, either way you do it, x cubed is equal to 1 over 30. Now you just take the cubed root of both sides, and you are left with the cubed root of 1 over 30. Now, I believe the worksheet for the algebra review worksheet says don't use your calculator. Use your calculator for this. I'm not going to expect you to do that. I'm more interested in, can you calculate this? So when you plug that into a calculator, you're going to get that x is equal to 0.322. Okay, so when we're going to factor quadratic expressions, let's say we want to just factor things. When we have the leading term as a 1, we can use this diamond method that some people are used to. I know I'm used to just, putting my parentheses out here, and I figure out what two terms multiplied together get me a positive 8, and multiplied and added together get me a negative 9. And the m just comes out in front, so we're going to try and get a positive 8 multiplied together and a negative 9 when added together. So that's simple, negative 1 and negative 8. If you're used to the diamond method, or this box and diamond method, whatever they call it in algebra these days, uh, you would have you'd have your positive 8 up here, and your product of two numbers is going to make positive 8, and your sum is going to make a negative 9. And you're going to do the math, and you're going to figure out that it's negative 1 and negative 8. And you get the same answer. Here's your factored form. When you have to factor and your a term is not 1, is not equal to 1, I guess this diamond method is, this box and diamond method is slightly different, and I'm going to show you a video on that. So again, factoring when your a term is not equal to 1. So using that method on our problem here, the 7x squared minus 31x minus 20, we're going to take the product of these two numbers, and we get the product is negative 140. And we're going to create the diamond out of that. We get negative 31. So we've got negative 140 and negative 31. The sum we're going to get is negative 31. The product is going to be negative 140. After figuring out, you'll get negative 35 and 4, because negative 35 plus 4 is negative 31. Multiply these two together, you get negative 140. Now we rewrite the middle term, so we have 7x squared minus 35x plus 4x minus 20. And then you're going to factor out, use the greatest common factor for this first set. That's 7x, and that's 7x times x minus 5. For the second term, we're going to factor out a 4 times x minus 5. We're left with 7x plus 4 times x minus 5. For something a bit more complex, we got to remember to factor out we can factor out an n. We can also factor out, looking at this number, probably a 4 would work. So if we factor out a 4 from each term, we get 4n, and the n squared, we get 4n squared times 7n squared plus 4n minus 20. And if we followed the diamond method, for reducing this term here into factored form, we'd end up with 4n squared times 7n minus 10 times an n plus 2. Sometimes we get something even more complex where we have two unknown terms. Just factor out one of those unknown terms. So we can factor the r out, bring that in front, r times np squared plus 73p plus 70. And we can then reduce this down using the diamond method. So we get multiply the two, 9 and 70. Multiply these two numbers, you get 630 and 73. Would be able to say 63 and 10 multiplied together would give you 630. Added together would give you 73, and you'd be left with r times. Oh, sorry, not done yet. Hold on. Let's expand that middle term. So we have 9p squared. 9p squared plus 63p plus 10p plus 70. And then find the greatest common factors and factor them out for this front part and for the back part. We're left with this. And finally, our completely factored form of this equation is r times the quantity 9p plus 10 times p plus 7.